Interested in becoming an MMA fighter? What about working in IT? Well, serving up at the breakfast buffet, we have Dylan Painton. That's right, a member of the South Plainfield Tiger Dynasty who moved to Tampa, Florida to pursue his career in IT as well as start an MMA career. I hope you guys will enjoy.
Do it! Made Jazz a call. Made the decision 14-4.
And here we are. We have Dylan Painton, another South Plainfield Tiger Dynasty alumni, currently in Florida pursuing an MMA career. How you doing today, Dylan?
Good, man. It's been a while, right? I think the last time I saw you was probably my senior year of college, like 34 years ago.
Yeah, good old Rutgers University. You know, you had that apartment with Ashnault and Gravina. What a group that was.
That's some adventures, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely shorter hair and no beard. So I'm liking the beard.
Yeah, I don't know. Puberty might have struck me twice. That coronavirus, man, I can't cut my hair. I gotta let it grow. Gotta let everything go out.
That's the quarantine style. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. How is it down there? Where you at?
Beautiful.
Tampa, right?
Tampa, Florida. Yep, it's like cool, 85 degrees and sunny. Was actually in the pool yesterday, so it was nice. It's nice. I love it down here.
Yeah, it's good. Well, when did you move down there? Right after college, right?
Yeah, so I got an internship in Metlife right after college, and then was in Whippany for 6 months. So yeah, 6 months out of college, moved down here in January. Actually, the day after New Year's, drove down with my pops and Tanya. She lives with me, my girlfriend, and yeah, we've been here since. So
yeah. So was it the job opportunity? What did you graduate at Rutgers with, and what made you ultimately just make that move?
yeah, so I graduated from Rutgers with an IT degree. Going to college, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I actually found out another guy on my team, Phil Bakukis, was doing IT, and my girlfriend at the time was doing IT. I was like, that works. I can do that. And then one of the Rutgers donors hooked me up with an internship with Metlife. So I took that after school ended. Then basically they offered me a position, and they're like, hey, it's gonna be in Tampa though. I was like, all right, that works. So there I am.
Sunny weather, taking that risk, huh? Getting away from Jersey.
Yeah.
IT, man, IT. I guess you could. That's the new thing, right? IT's a lot of computer work and everything. What goes into that?
There's a lot. It's so broad that I do IT. It falls under the IT umbrella, I guess you could say. Like I do, in simple terms, I do like app development, but I'm not the one developing it. I kind of do testing, and then I kind of change. There's the way people work, like methodologies. I'm kind of pushing this new method with our company. So yeah, that's it. And in short terms, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it. A lot of different things.
Did you learn what you were doing now in college, or was it like learn on the job type thing?
Not at all. I barely used anything I learned in college. It's all on
So it was
the
job. It was all on the job, huh? That's pretty
Mhm.
interesting. You know, I feel like that's a lot for a lot of careers, but you know, you kind of need that college basis or whatever just to get your foot in the door, huh?
It's all a piece of paper. It's
All-
all a piece of paper.
Most expensive piece of paper
Oh my
that you
God.
could get. That's awesome. So really like a donor kind of helped you out, right? Like one of the Rutgers alum, huh? So
Yeah.
it's important to stay connected to your alumni, huh? Especially at Rutgers and stuff. How did he hook you up with that? He just knew someone, or he ran
No, so what happened was actually, I think it was a Rutgers Wrestling had a networking event with a bunch of alumni, and I'm super grateful. Rutgers does a lot of this stuff. I think they're doing it even more and more. They're having all these networking events where alumni and donors come in, they sit and talk with the team, kind of like just getting to meet everyone. So I met him, and he's like, "Oh, you're doing IT? Like I work in IT. I've been working in IT for the last 40 years," and he just kicked it off from there. Long story short, he offered me an internship, and I took advantage of it.
There you go, taking the risk. Speaking of risks, you started getting into MMA. You know, I believe you're undefeated. I've been following a lot of your stuff on Facebook, and you know, been reconnecting with your dad a little bit. He's been telling me great things. So how'd you get into that? How How many months? How long have you been training?
So I've been training now about a year and a half. It's funny, actually. The one who got me into jiu-jitsu is actually Corey Sisenko.
Oh
He
yeah.
right after wrestling ended, about like 2 or 3 months later, he's like, "Hey man, I've been going to do jiu-jitsu. Would you want to do it with me?" I was like, "Oh hell yeah!" We've always been to MMA ever since we were kids. I know Corey's the one who was into it. I was into it, so I didn't hesitate to take that opportunity. And when I moved down here, I found another gym that I go to now, Gracie Webster Chapel. So I was doing jiu-jitsu, and then my coach one day was like, after like a week of training there, he's like, "Hey, I don't usually say this, but would you consider doing MMA?" I was like, "I don't know, man. I always wanted to as a kid, but now I got to think for my job. Like, I don't want CTE." He's like, "Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, I think you should do MMA." And then an hour later, I had my gloves on, and that's how it started. I love it.
That's interesting. You were
Yeah.
thinking about your career, but then you probably just fell in love with MMA and everything, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I loved it as a kid. When I went to Elite Wrestling. For those who are in New Jersey, they know who that is. Steve Rivera runs that. And I was like, had been sixth, seventh grade, and Frank Edgar's close friends with Steve, and he was doing like jujitsu classes at the time, and he was huge. Everyone who followed MMA knew who Frankie was. I took 2 classes with him, and I was like, "Dad, I think I want to fight." And he's like, "Dude, what are you talking about? You have your wrestling career." I was like, "No, no, this is what I want to do." And he's like, "Dude, you can't be doing this and getting hurt. You got to go to college and wrestle. Like, what are you thinking?" My mom was not having any of it, so I was like, "All right." Back in my head, I knew this was always what I wanted to do, so live that
And
dream.
taking jujitsu for a little bit, how much of an advantage was it that you had all this years of wrestling experience, college and high school and all that?
Huge. It's such a big advantage. Just like your body mechanics, and leverage, how to push and pull, how wrestlers have these hips. People don't understand. It's just things come so much more naturally. And then you're going against higher belts, and they're like, what the hell's this white belt doing? Like, people are struggling. They're like, I don't understand. And you tell them that you're a wrestler, like, oh, all right, that makes sense.
Yeah, they give that respect, huh? Especially you got them big hands, man. You got those mittens, bro.
Pause. Pause on you. Hit
Man,
the crit.
once you wrap them wrists up, man, you weren't getting your hand out. So how was it, just reliving the Tiger Dynasty? What kind of great memories and stories you have from that? It was just such a great experience.
Dude, it was awesome. I mean, ever since when I moved to South Plainfield in fourth grade, and then the next 8 years up through high school, it's incredible. Looking back on it, you can't replicate that bond we had growing up together, how close we were. There's nothing. No private school, no college. I don't think you could replicate what we had.
Yeah, you definitely can't. And what was great about it was also the parents were heavily involved too. I
Mhm.
remember one of my favorite coaches in rec and a little bit of middle school was your dad. Your dad just kept it simple with me. Your dad kept it real simple. He showed me the slide by. He goes, you're a strong kid. Just hit the slide by, and I would hit the slide by every match. And I remember your dad was the best with just keeping it simple with me.
Feeding his ego. He's gonna start thinking he knows more than he does. I always tell him, I was like, "Dude, if senior me wrestled senior you, you'd be pinned in less than a minute." He's like, "No, man, I had too much heart. I was too strong." He's like, "You realize I pinned like more than half my wins in high school, right?" He's like, "No, too strong." Like, dude, you didn't win a match in a tournament. What makes you think this? So I always bust his
He's a
chops.
man. Yeah, he kept it simple. That's all it is. That's how South Plainfield was, simple and just hard nosed. And I
Yep.
remember the Mr. Payton handshake. Strong hands.
He did that intentionally. I'm 100%. He still denies. He's like, "No, that's just my grip." No, man, you're just doing that to mess with the kids and squeeze their knuckles together.
The
But he's
strong
got big
grip,
hands.
man.
Yeah, he's a big man.
Um, See, you ended up what taking what'd you take that year? Third, right? Your senior
Fourth,
year.
fourth my
Ended
senior
up
year. Yep.
ended up taking fourth, and then ended up, wrestling at Rutgers. Um, was it a great advantage, coming from that program with South Plainfield going into that Rutgers room?
Oh, for sure. I mean, half the kids were already on the same team, right? Anthony, Corey, Scott. Uh, for those who don't know, Tyler Hunt, Corey Stank were on the team for a while too. So it felt just like normal. It felt just mixed with other kids from other towns. it felt like the club almost.
Right.
But it
Yeah.
was definitely an advantage. Like, especially
Yeah.
how hard. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, definitely. And being part of Murderers Row, man, you were the heaviest out of all of us.
Yeah.
I mean, instead of now, I'm probably heavier than all you guys, but
Yeah.
how was that? Especially that Bergen Catholic match where where you kind of wrapped it all up. That's when we kind of got that name, right? That the Bergen Catholic my sophomore year when we lost the first 6 and then we came back strong.
Yeah.
How was it? How was it being part of that? And did you let the pressure ever get to you? Being part of the Murderers Row and just the whole publicity that we got from the whole thing.
Yeah, it's funny. Actually, I looked up the box scores this morning before I knew we were going to meet just to kind of run through what happened. And that was crazy. 6 in a row, and then or 7 and 7. I forgot how it split, but
Yeah, I
that was.
forgot how it split, but I remember I ended up leading it off because we
Mhm.
lost the first whatever. I got bonus points, and I was messing with Scott because Scott used to always call me, "Oh, no bonus point Jazz," and I actually got a major there, and I was telling him about that. I was like, "Yeah, I got bonus points, and I needed it."
Yeah, he got more bonus points than you though. He wrestled Melty. I think Melty injury defaulted. So
Yeah, he defaulted out, so but
gotcha on that.
yeah, it was just so amazing how like the atmosphere was, and I
Hmm.
remember when like the number 4, number 5 team in the state of New Jersey would come and wrestle us at our home turf, and we'd be so relaxed and just mess around, but when that light went down, we always turned it up another level, and
Yeah, I think we were really good at that. I think flipping that switch. We were always joking around because that kept everyone calm, right? If everyone was on eggshells and all serious, people would be. I mean, the rest of the team would be freaking out, like, what the hell is going on? But we knew when to turn it on and when to focus, and then when to kind of joke around and keep everything light. So we did it. I think our whole team did a good job of doing that. It was fun. We made it
yeah,
fun. We were
and
serious. We didn't like it.
I remember one of the better stories was we wrestled Ocean and was at the sectional finals, and the coach tried to tell the ref that it was illegal for us to run out with our music and stuff. And I remember McKay was like, let them run out. That they could have that 1 or 2 team point. We'll make it back. And we would just shut teams down, man. And what was
Yeah.
very interesting was we all had different styles, but we all had that similar just toughness. We all knew how to hand fight. We all knew how to wrestle in positions. And you were more of that, you were kind of you're that tall and lanky guy. And, you had those grips and everything. And your style was more of what, like cradles and a little bit of tilts, right?
Yeah, I slowed the match down to a crawl, basically. It's funny. I remember McCann in an interview, they're asking, he was talking about it, he goes, yeah, his style is just unorthodox. Like, there's no other way to explain it. It's just, I just wrestle like the fastest kid out there, and the match would come to a crawl. And they're probably boring matches for the most part, but hey, a win's a win. I wasn't
Yeah,
stalling,
win
so.
to win. Once you got your hands on the wrist, man, they couldn't shake it off.
Exactly.
But that was so interesting how we all kind of had different styles, but we all molded into each other and became one of the top the top team in the state. And what was great about it was it seemed like we were all on the same page,
Hmm.
and we all had different character traits too. So that was pretty cool. Different personalities.
Oh,
We were all.
for sure.
But once we stepped on that mat, man, that was the one thing we had in common was that hard work and work ethic. So then you ended up studying IT at Rutgers and everything. How
Mhm.
was balancing IT? I'm sure that's not an easy degree to have and to balance wrestling with. How'd you balance all that?
Um, I mean, I was a pretty smart kid. I consider myself pretty smart, so it wasn't too crazy, to be completely honest. My first semester in college is funny because I actually tore my pec and I was out the whole season. When I got into college, like I was like, I don't need to study. I got like straight A's in high school without studying. I think I failed like 2 classes. I had all D's and a C first semester. The coaches are like, good deals. Like, what the hell, man? I thought you got good grades. What are you doing? You must be like out partying or something. You're injured. You don't even wrestle. What are you doing? I was like, I
Yeah.
don't know, man. I didn't study. I don't think I needed to study. He's like, no, this is college. You need to study. So it was just after a semester, my grades started getting better and better. I think by the time I finished college, I had like a 3.4, 3.5 GPA. So it was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't once you get it down, every person's different. You create your routines. You know how to balance the workload. So it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, for sure. Developing the good habits early and the daily routine is super important. You know, what I tell a lot of high school kids going into college now, that first semester, make sure it's your best semester because you don't want to play catch up that whole rest of your college career. Start off on a good note, create those good habits. What were some of those good habits you eventually developed?
Um, you learn not to procrastinate. I remember like my freshman year in the dorms, I'd be like up pulling all-nighters, writing papers the night before. But like I said, you learn getting stuff done either way or earlier than wait till the last second was a big one for me. So I was always ready. I saw what was coming down the pike, and I was just like, all right, let me finish this paper, then I'll work on this one, I'll do this assignment. So I always had a good buffer because just anticipate things are going to pop up out of nowhere. So that was a big one for me.
Mhm. Yeah, and definitely finding the right people to surround yourself. You know, you surround
Yeah.
yourself with Gravina and National. I'm sure, you know, they got Gravina especially probably got his paper done. He was, you know, definitely not a procrastinator and everything. So how was that? How'd you guys all work together?
We were good. I mean, Anthony and Nick were those clean eaters. I'd see them taking shots of apple cider vinegar in the morning, like, what the hell are you guys doing with the kombucha? I thought they were crazy, but no, it was a good dynamic. It was fun. I actually regret not spending more time with them back in my junior and senior year. I was living out South Plainfield a few times. I come back and forth. I stayed with my parents occasionally. I stayed with my girlfriend a lot, especially my senior year. It was just a distraction. A lot of regrets, but it is what it is. But living with them was fun. It was a good time. They're all
Yeah,
good
yeah,
guys.
well, definitely, definitely. You know, people have regrets, but you know what? That it is what it is, and you know that's it.
Yeah,
Chalk it up. So then, you know, graduating and then eventually leaving South Plainfield and everything. How big of a step was that?
it was weird. I mean, I grew up in South Plainfield. Like I'm leaving all my friends, I'm leaving everyone behind, taking this big leap. But it's good. I think everyone needs a fresh start because you get used to doing the same thing. You're gonna get so confined. Everyone should branch out. I know Anthony's living down the shore. Um, kind of spread out a little bit. Like I said, I'm in Florida now. It's a huge change, but
Yeah.
everyone needs that. It's a fresh start. Kind of gets the juices flowing, breaks the mold. So.
Yeah, you definitely learn more about yourself now that you're out of your element. What are some of the big differences you see, you know, living down in Florida now compared to New Jersey?
Um, Well, the theory of the Florida man is real. People here are absolutely insane, crazy people. Uh, Humidity's not as bad as people make it out to be. The weather's pretty equal, but wrestling's a big one, man. I went to a few months ago. I do private lessons with a bunch of kids in high school. When you go to the matches, it's not the same. There's no feeder program here, so those kids, like our JV kids, not just saying us, you look at any other towns in New Jersey, those JV kids would be state qualifiers here. It's a different sport and it's treated so much differently down here in Florida. I mean, you have occasional good teams like Brandon, like Highland Prep, that are pretty tough, but it hurts. It hurts watching some of those matches, man. It really does. I mean, I love my
Yeah,
guys that I coach, but it's tough. It's just different.
yeah, I feel like in Jersey, and I think me and Gion were talking about because he's over in Reno. He was like, yeah, it's different here too. We feel like Jersey wrestling is more of a lifestyle, right? It's something that you breathe, you know, it's something that's a part of you.
Yeah.
You're thinking about it 24/7, right? Even in this whole quarantine, we're finding ways to wrestle and get better on the mat, even though when it's not accessible to us. He said for, you know, some of his kids, it's like, oh, whatever. For us, right? We would be dying in this situation. I'm sure you're dying without MMA. I'm dying without getting back into the ring, you know. We just make what we have and we turn it into a lifestyle, right?
Yeah, I feel like a caged animal. I don't have much. I don't have any weights here, so I have a pull-up bar in my bathroom. So I'm freaking working out in the bathroom, doing dips off the tub, doing chin-ups and push-ups and sit-ups. I got a new construction house up. The guys left like tiles and concrete and paint, so I'm using that, like just making it work. A lot of shadow
Finding
boxing.
ways. Yeah.
Yeah, have
So
to.
so we'll touch more on your MMA career and everything. How many fights have you had already?
Two. I've had two. I was actually supposed to fight. I think it was about 2 weeks ago now, April 25th, before all this went down. So just two so far.
Now, do you have the same mentality going into a fight when as compared to when you were going into a match for wrestling, or how does it change?
It's very different, right? Because it's so new. I remember the first fight. I wanted to. You get the same butterflies. Like my thing was I always get nervous for whatever reason for every match. Even if I was going up to a kid I knew I was going to pin in 10 seconds in high school. I have to run to the bathroom and take a piss like every 5 minutes. I'm doing the same thing now. It's not like I'm scared or anything. It's just the nerves start kicking in. But once you get in that cage and you lock the door, like that door shuts behind you, you're like, all right, this is real. And it's funny. I remember the first fight. I walked out first. I'm in the cage. And it was like about 30 seconds go by. The kid hasn't walked out yet. No music came out. I was like, for a second, I'm like, thank God. I'm not trying to fight someone. Someone's going to be coming across the cage trying to take my head off. I've never done this before. I'm in way over my head. Then the kid comes in, like said, a cage locks. I'm like, all right, fuck that. I'm going to come right across too. So it's different when someone's, like I said, trying to take your head off, put your lights out. It's different, but you still got to be ready. You got to be prepared. I know I was prepared. My coaches did a good job of that. So it was just putting those nerves behind me, which I'm doing a better job of.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. I know with Wrestling Mindset, Gene talked with Chuck Liddell, and he says that, before his fights, he felt like, he wasn't worried. He felt like the outcome was, it is what it is, because he believed in his training and his preparation. He said, he did everything that he possibly could to prepare for this fight. How is your preparation? How are you training? Well, how were you training daily for fights and everything? Did you have a certain routine, like striking's on a Tuesday, grappling's on a Wednesday?
Yeah. So yeah, basically that in a nutshell. When I'm not, let's say, in camp, right? I go to work. During my lunch break, I usually go for a run, and then I go same for the most part. The same gym I do jiu-jitsu in. My MMA coach comes at 8 o'clock. And then we do MMA. So 7 o'clock, do jiu-jitsu, 8 o'clock, rolls around MMA. I go to another gym to do my Muay Thai. Do that usually about twice a week. So it's about split between how much striking and how much jiu-jitsu I do.
That's interesting. It's like you're basically in high school again, because you got a full-time job, right? So you're working from what, 9 to 5? How long are your hours?
9 to 5. So I wake up at 7 in the morning, have breakfast, go to work out at lunch occasionally. Work ends, go straight to the gym, help out the little guys. 7 o'clock rolls around, jiu-jitsu. 8 o'clock rolls around, do MMA, or go do live rolls with jiu-jitsu. I don't get home till like 10:30. So it's a busy day.
Right. And that's daily, man. That's that's
Mhm.
showing a lot. You really want it, and that goes to show. Especially from coming from that program in South Plainfield. Do you feel like you have that advantage with that mentality, that hard work mentality?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think twice about it. Most people are like, I'll take this day off. I shouldn't do that. But it's just you got to do it. Like I know the month of my fight, I'll call that my camp, I guess. I gotta cut the weight. I gotta suck down. Like I'm not gonna bitch and moan about going to run. I'll bundle up, go out there, 80-degree weather, and you gotta get the weight off. Gotta train. You don't think twice about it. It's just it feels natural. It's like something you have to do. You just do it. It's not hard.
Part of it. It's part of it. Yeah, it's not doing is not an option.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, especially running the cut weight in 80-degree Florida weather, definitely better than in high school in that cold.
Oh my
Putting that
gosh.
sauna suit on. What's the
Yeah,
biggest
much
difference between cutting weight back then, in high school, and then now cutting weight for MMA?
So MMA we have a day before weigh-ins. So which means you have 24 hours between the day you weigh in, the day you fight. So I have more time to recover. So that's why I fight at 155, right? I'm coming down from I will hover around 75, 180. I come all the way down. High school, we always stayed within what you'd say 10 pounds ideally. So we'd have a match on Saturday, and then get back up like 8 or 10 pounds over, and slowly the week comes, so it starts taking it off. But you only get one workout, right? We only really got one workout that practice, which was hard enough that we got enough off. Remember we joked around like, how much did you lose today? Oh, I lost 4 pounds. How the hell did Will Fleet lose 10 pounds at practice? We'd all be pissed and yelling at him.
Yep.
So it's a little bit different, but I like to say the more you start to do it, the older you get. I get smarter with it now. I know how to stay hydrated. I know when to eat. I'm fasting in the morning kind of thing. So it's just you get smarter. You don't wait till the last second. So like I said, it's just playing it out and make it gradual.
Yeah, making it work for your schedule too, right? Because your schedule's probably so much different than other fighters, going to
Oh,
a
for sure.
full-time job and everything. So what's the goal? What's the goal with MMA and everything that you have going?
Yeah, that's everyone asks me that, and honestly, I wish I had an answer. I know I definitely want to fight in one of the big three, either with one, whether it's UFC, whether it's Bellator, and I'm pretty confident I'm going to get there. But I know keeping my day job, I'm not going to be able to be a world champion. It's just not possible. You have these guys that are training 3 times a day, striking, jiu-jitsu, wrestling. When it comes to combat, I'm only doing it once a day, right? I'll go for a run or I'll lift, but I'm not doing that training that's necessary to be at that high level. It's tough. I mean, some people could do it, um, but I know to get where I want to go, um, something's got to change eventually. I don't know when it's going to be or how, but
Hmm.
that's the goal, I guess you'd
Yeah,
say.
eventually down the road, right? And especially with the whole pandemic and everything is getting in the way. Um, But I'm sure you'll get there. I'm sure you'll find it, because it's probably not easy, having this great, career and it seems like a pretty great job, and then having
Mhm.
this passion, right? So balancing it out.
Yeah,
Eventually, everyone comes to a crossroads when they're in that situation. But, for now, take it day by day, right?
yeah, basically, yeah, it's balancing that. I think that's what helps me stay so involved and passionate about MMA too. It's like I don't have to do it. I do it because I enjoy it. This is my hobby. This is what I love to do. If I made it that's what I'm scared of too. If I just make it my full-time everyday job, am I going to still have that same love for it? I don't know. I mean, think about how many times we all try to quit wrestling at one point or another. Everyone has. Almost every single person, every one of us that I know has tried to quit at one time or another. But it's like because it comes work, you get burnt out. So, like I said, if I make fighting my full-time job, I'm scared to lose that love for it.
Yeah, that's very interesting for sure. People you lose the love what they have, when they're constantly doing it, or like you said, once you make it a full-time thing. So that's pretty interesting, right? Keeping that love for it. So we'll go into this. I asked everyone this: your adversity moment. What is some adversity you went through in your life that is part of you, part of your story now?
Adversity. That's a good one. I think I've faced adversity always, just mentally. I think my biggest battles wasn't whether I'm good enough. It's just can I beat myself, right? So when you get to those big matches, I always do well, but I was never picking off the top guys, or I would occasionally off season. But when it came when it was important, I just why was I failing? Why was I coming up short every single time? Um, and I think those 2 regional losses I had my sophomore and junior year. It's like how the hell am I beating kids that are winning states and national qualifiers, but I can't get them my fucking region. Um, so I think my senior year, probably my region semifinals, like it sounds stupid. It's not even a big match. Um, Get out of that one to qualify for states. That would just personally, that was huge for me. Like I said, it wasn't even against. I've beaten way better kids, but just get over that mental hurdle. Hey, that was a huge one for me.
Yeah, and what kind of advice would you give, people from high school, getting recruited for college, figuring out what they want to do in college and balancing a sport out like wrestling or anything?
Yeah, so I mean, it depends on the person, right? I think for anyone, even if they're not wrestling doing sports, the way I look at college is you major in something you think you'd be interested in that can make you a good amount of money, right? You're paying all this money to go to school for the most part, unless you get a scholarship. Why not get something out of it? That $100,000 piece of paper, it better be making you money when you get out of school. But then at the same time, you want to minor in something that you really enjoy. That minor in something that you're passionate in. I didn't do that. I didn't know that until I got out of college looking back. Like if you love music or something, don't major in music. How hard is that going to be? But minor in it. And then sure enough, once you're taking those classes, it's going to be so much easier to double major. So academically, that's my advice for the people that are going through high school, trying to get recruited to college. Yeah, everyone wants to be a D1 athlete. Everyone wants to be Anthony Ashall. But look at yourself. What was D2, NYU or D3?
D3. Yeah, and
D3.
NYU. Yeah.
Yeah, when I was getting recruited, most of the schools were D2, D3. Making a college decision was tough for me because I wanted to go D1. I knew I had the ability to, but it was either I could be a big fish in a small pond in a D3 or D2 school, or go to somewhere like Rutgers that's a bunch of hammers. You're not that big name, so you really got to work to get to that point. So just understand what you want to do, but
Yeah, it's
never
important.
lose sight of your goals, what you're passionate about. I think I'll somewhere along the way of college, I kind of lost my love for wrestling. until probably the end of my senior year. Started coming back, but by then it's too late. So just remember
Yeah,
why.
eventually it's there. Eventually it's there, but like you said, knowing yourself, knowing who you are, and
Mhm.
you know, it's basically all it's what it's about. And then eventually you find new passions. Speaking of your new passion, what would you tell someone that wants to do MMA? You know, wants to get their foot in there. What kind of advice would you give them?
Go for it. Try it. I mean, if you like wrestle, if you're wrestling, let's say you graduated college, you want to do it, do it. Start with jujitsu at least. Just try jujitsu for 6 months before you do MMA. I guarantee you'll love it. Guarantee it. Don't be scared. Like I said, I made that joke before about being afraid I'm gonna get CTE, but what are the chances of that happening? You won't know once you try it. Don't be fearful of it. It's a beautiful sport. It's crazy as that sounds. It's the most barbaric, but it's such a interesting, intricate sport. There's so many styles, so many positions, even more so than wrestling. I think wrestling, you have what, top, bottom, neutral, right? I think
Mhm.
fighting, you have fighting from a distance, you're close together, you're clinched, you're up against the cage, now you're in someone's guard, you're in full guard, you're on side control. It's just, there's so much to learn, and you just keep constantly learning this technique, this technique, this technique. You'll never see it all.
Yeah, right. There's probably so many layers to it.
Mhm.
So we'll wrap it up with this. Who is Dylan Painton, and what do you want to be known for?
Who is Dylan Payne? Well, Dylan Payne's a fighter. I'm being known for someone just went out, finally was able to accomplish their goals and dreams. You know, like I said, high school kind of fell flat. College was kind of a wash for me. So now is my opportunity for the next maybe 10 years, let's say MMA, to reach my goals, and I'm confident I'm gonna get there. Just being a good all around person, be a good teammate. Don't be a dickhead. No one needs that. No one is gonna remember you for that. There's people who are more talented than me in wrestling that were great in college, but you look at some of those people like, well, where are they now? What goes around comes around. So I just want to be remembered as a good person, respectful, a good teammate, and finally was able to accomplish his goals.
Right? Yeah, I remember when I was in high school and everything. You know, I always thought of you as the silent assassin. You know, and I would go to you for some advice and stuff. And you know, you were basically just like your dad. You kind of kept it simple, and you know, sometimes you just gave that simple advice that I needed. So I wanna thank you for that. And of course,
No
shout out to
problem.
Mr. Payton.
Yeah, shout out to Big Dustin down there in Brook, New Jersey. Yeah,
There you
well,
go.
you have a lot of personalities, wrestlers and fighters, a lot of big mouths. So I was like, yeah, do more listening than I will talking. But
Uh-huh. Awesome, awesome. So where can people find you so they can, you know, hit you up for any advice or anything?
probably Instagram. I'm most active. Not too active on social media. Probably will be eventually. But uh, RUDPain43 is my Instagram, Twitter. Like I said, I haven't posted in a while, but Facebook, Dylan Painton should be pretty easy to find.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks, my bro. I appreciate your time.
All
Keep
right, brother.
hustling, keep going after your passion, my man. I appreciate it.
You too. Thanks, Brett.
MMA guys are called